Hello guys, and welcome back to TSN, or the Sasuke Nerds. Those who are very well acquainted with this channel have been waiting for this for a long time. It is the Sasuke 41 results predictions. And today, we have another team member joining us. It's Evan, to predict alongside me. Hopefully we'll have some interesting disagreements.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Kane. For those of you who don't know, hi, I'm Evan, also known as Mr. Mario Kart, or King Evan in the Ninja Masters Discord server. And, let's get ready to predict some Sasuke.
We have 30, yes, 30 people in the lineup of Sasuke 41 we have to predict on. So, let's start with, the obvious person. At number 1, the first prediction we are doing for the video, Katsuto Torisa. Yep, I think this one's about the same as last year. I don't think he's gotten any better. Maybe he does get better with age, I don't know. But, I guess, the only thing I have to say is that to the viewers, strap in, this is going to be a long ride. Low rolling hill, he's not failing quad steps. High fishbone. Sure, let's go with that.
When it comes to Torisawa, I still think there is a chance he does fail the quad steps. So my low is going to be the quad steps. But, as for a high, I agree, I will probably put Fishbone because, well, if he can clear the Silk Slider, so can Torisawa. And next up, we move on to the son of the legendary Makoto Nagano, Kaio Nagano. Kaio Nagano, in the previous tournament, kind of embarrassed himself on the rolling hill. So I'm going to put that as his low again. However, in the few instances of training that we have seen, he definitely looks a lot stronger, and I could definitely see him making it pretty far into stage 1. So I'm gonna go with a high of the Warped Wall.
This is a good one. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt here. But I'm not sure if he's gonna clear stage 1, because I don't think he's there yet. But here's where I'm, at a crossroads. Is he good enough to beat the Dragon Glider? So that's what I'm trying to think. I might just flip a coin, but I don't think he's failing Rolling Hill. I'm not going to entertain that possibility. If he does, then he's an embarrassment. But that's an entirely different can of worms. So I guess we'll go with low block, high Warped Wall, sure, why not?
And just so we're going to be clear, block is what we think the new obstacle on stage 1 is going to be.
Alright, next up, yeah, we skipped Karen this year because she's just going to fail the same obstacle. Next is Uta Nakashima, the young prodigy of the Black Tigers. Blew everyone out of the water by beating the Dragon Glider and then getting clobbered by the tackle. This is a good one. I don't know how tall he is compared to last year. Maybe he's grown like a solid meter. We don't know. Maybe he's a basketball player. If we consider the factor of him being, short. Nah, he's not failing block. Low Warped Wall, high Spider Drop because he's short.
When it comes to Nakashima, I think this guy has endless potential. I think he is essentially the person that led to the concept of Koshin, which could lead to some more young talent coming soon. I'm gonna say lower block because of the fact that we haven't seen it before, and because Nakashima is on the shorter side, I think he could be at a bit of a disadvantage. But for a high, I'm going to agree with Kane, and I'm going to say Spider Drop is the high because, again, he's on the shorter side, and that's not exactly an obstacle you want to take on when you're not even 5 feet tall. So, moving on, we have another member of the Black Tigers, Hayato Takasuka. Takasuka, in the previous tournament, cleared stage 1 and made it all the way to the Spider Walk before failing. He definitely turned some heads, which is something that fellow Black Tiger Suichiro Kawachi could not have done in Sasuke 39. And I think this guy does have some pretty solid potential. I'm going to say a low block because of the fact that we don't really have seen it, per se. And without it on Yamada's trading courses, it could definitely prove to be a bit of a hurdle. For a high, this might be a hot take, but I'm going to say Swing Edge.
Yeah, I mean, Yamada's rigorous training has been an easy one to pick up. Or maybe not, because I don't know if you guys remember in, what's it called? Sasuke 29 G4, yes, 29. Yamada was like, you gotta train, or you gotta go. Like, it was so stupid. I'm trying to think, though, because Yoshi did beat Block, so maybe under the same blanket, maybe Takasuka would be okay, but I guess comparing Yoshi to Takasuka would be like comparing the Joker to Ronald McDonald. Yeah, we're gonna go with low, sure, block, and then high wall lift. I don't think he's getting past stage 2. And next is the man that blitzed through the first 2 stages last tournament, Hayate Kajihara. Man, I'm kind of shocked by Kajihara. He certainly turned up a bit of a performance in 40, and while he did not beat the cliffhanger, it's nice to see. I wouldn't say that was a terrible performance. He climbed up the stage 1 speed rankings. Will he beat cliffhanger though? If he's deposed to the same fate as the last Speed Demon, Jun and Sato, I wouldn't be so sure. Low? That's a good question. I don't think he's gonna fail block. Low wall lift, high, vertical limit, sure. I've seen him on Gio's rig.
Kajihara has proven to be a fan favorite throughout the past few tournaments, and for good reason. He's a celebrity competitor that has shown a ton of potential and was incredibly fun to watch in Sasuke 40. I'm going to say block is as low because of the fact that I think I could easily see him rushing the new obstacle and producing a pretty shocking fail. But other than that, I think he is more than likely a stage 3 lock. And I'm going to say his high is vertical limit because he has improved time and time again, and it's just the next step forward. And then next we have Rin Sugeta, who's one of the former members of the Johnny's group. Honestly had a pretty decent track record up to this point. He did have a shocking fail in the Dragon Glider in the previous tournament, though the bar derailed, so I don't foresee him failing that again. I'm going to say block is the low because of the fact that, again, have not seen the obstacle, and it's very likely it could definitely trip up a lot of the earlier competitors. But for a high, I think this is the tournament he could reach stage 3 and go as far as the cliffhanger dimension. So that will be my high for him.
Sugeta is a person I frequently forget. Not by any fault, on his part. It seems like the other celebrities kind of overpower him in some way, shape, or form. Kajihara is fast. Saikawa is Saikawa. I'm sorry. Sucata, he's friends with Yugi. Yeah, we'll go with that. Darvish, he's just one of the most notable celebrities. Iwamoto has a rabid fan base. Sugeta is just someone I frequently forget about, though. I guess we'll go with low Dragon Glider, you never know, the mental issues could kick in. High Spin Winder, because it's a tricky obstacle, you never know. And next up is the former number one clear, Masashi Hioki. And to say that his last result kind of concerned me would be a true and honest statement. However, he did compete on Takeshi's, so, he has that on his side. And, he did good in his own right, so I'm not going to rule him out just yet, even though Takeshi's is another can of worms. Inui is not above putting Takeshi's obstacles in this show. So, I guess for Hioki, it would be low... I don't think he's failing stage 1. Low backstream again. High cliffhanger. That's pretty clear to me.
Unlike Kane, I actually do think there is a chance that Hioki could fail block in a shocking turn of events. So that will be my low for him. For a high, I definitely think there is a decent chance he could get back to stage 3 and make it to the cliffhanger dimension, but I don't see a world where he clears that. So that will be my high. Next we have a rookie who has not competed on Sasuke before. And this is Shuzo Uchiyama, also known as Gio. Now, Gio has this amazing replica course that many competitors have trained on, like Ken Kasugi, Rio Matachi, Masashi Hioki, Yuji Urishihara, and Donovan Matoya even made an appearance there. Gio is kind of an oddball to pick because we haven't really seen him much on the course. So I'm going to say a low of Fishbone because he just added a Fishbone of his own. And I'm going to say a high of Reverse Conveyor because we're not really sure about his speed and how he will handle the backstream. And plus, he doesn't really have a ton of stage 2 obstacles on his replica course.
Gio, he can go anywhere. Within the first 2.5 stages, I think it could go anywhere. But the thing with his training in particular is that to train for Sasuke and to become a true expert, you have to train the same movements. So I'm not gonna say he fails Fishbone because you do it once, you do it every time. Low block, high. That's a good one. I'll say wall lifting. Yeah, we'll go with wall lifting. Up next is Yusuke Goto. If there was ever a YouTube video about him, it would be the rise and fall of Yusuke Goto, which is kind of funny to think about how he got disrespected last time. It's not his fault, even though he failed Dragon Glider. This is gonna be quick. Low Dragon Glider, high... He failed Salmon Ladder in his lone stage 2 appearance. He's not gonna fail it again, but... Reverse Conveyor.
I'm a bit more optimistic for Goto. I definitely think the guy has a ton of potential. I'm going to say low of block because of the fact that we haven't really seen him on an obstacle like that. And as for a high, he was pretty fast on stage 1 in Sasuke 39, all things considered. So this may be a hot take, but I'm going to say high swing edge. And then next we have a competitor that really had a rise and fall, and by a fall I mean like a downward spiral, and that is Sasuke 17 finalist Shinsuke Nagasaki. Shinsuke, oh my goodness, he could go anywhere, so I'm basically gonna put him anywhere. I'm gonna say low in Rolling Hill because it's Shinsuke. That would be such a Shinsuke obstacle for him to fail. And a higher Spire Drop because he cannot clear that obstacle to save his life now. So, yeah.
I'm not going to waste my energy on this one. Low block, high Reverse Conveyor. Next is Sucata, a person I feel, a little bit better about. Not much, but, maybe. Low... I don't know, he's had such a weird career. He's failed, he's failed Wing Slider, right? Hasn't he done that before? And he's failed Dragon Glider?
Yes, he has.
And Warped Wall? Low block, high Spider Drop. Sure.
Sucata definitely turned his career around in the previous tournament, finally clearing stage 1 again, which was pretty nice to see. and he had his best result to date, making it all the way to the back screen. I'm going to say low of Fishbone because of the fact that he definitely seems like someone who could have a shock fail on that obstacle. A high, I'm going to say wall lift, because he definitely could have gotten a lot faster since Sasuke 40 and be a lot more prepared for the back half of Stage 2. But I don't think a Stage 3 of birth is happening. Next, we have one of the most consistent competitors in Sasuke history, if not the most consistent, Jun Sato. I think we all know what I'm going to say here. Unconditional cliffhanger dimension.
Dude, you know, that is exactly what I was going to say. And next up is Tomohiro Muto, the man that can't beat the Spin Winder. I don't remember if he had like a debut where he failed the Dragon Glider or something. Didn't he get cut or something?
He did, but it was cut.
Yeah.
He did, but he got cut.
Paravi viewers would know. See, the thing with him failing block is that his legs are probably strong because he's a trampolinist, and Shunsuke does not count because Shunsuke is a loser. But no, he's not failing block. Not in my personal opinion. So I guess it comes down to whether he can beat the Spin Winder. Low Spin Winder, high cliffhanger. Sure, let's entertain that possibility.
I'm a bit more pessimistic about Muto. I definitely think he is someone who could have a shocking fail on block, so I'm going to say a low of block, and I'm going to go with a high of the Spin Winder because he does not seem to know what the heck he's doing on that obstacle. Now, Muto, I hope you prove me wrong because you have a ton of potential, but you gotta start showcasing it, man. Next, we have the current Sasuke Sensei, even though Asaoka is still always going to be my Sasuke Sensei, and that is Yusuke Suzuki. Honestly, you could probably just echo what I said about Muto and put it to Suzuki, except he doesn't have nearly as much potential because of the fact that the guy is 45. So I'm going to say a low block and a high of Spin Winder for Suzuki as well.
You know, I'm going to go crazy here. This one might turn a few heads, or it might not. This is probably a cold-ass take. Low... Yeah, we'll say block. Sure. High wall lifting. He's not beating Stage 2. He barely did it by the skin of his teeth last tournament. It's not happening. And next up is the Sasuke-kun Sedai guy that no one seems to turn any sort of attention to, Naoyuki Araki. I don't know. That's a good question on how he will do in this tournament, because I just I forget about him sometimes. No offense to Araki. Low. We'll go low block, high cliffhanger. He's not beating cliffhanger.
I'm a lot more optimistic about Araki. I don't really think block will be a problem with him because he has a tendency to show that he can actually be pretty speedy. It's just that the tackle takes a lot out of him. But I don't really think he's going to fail Stage 1. I think Stage 2 would definitely be a question mark. So I'm going to say low of reverse conveyor and a high. I'm going to entertain Vertical Limit because of the fact that, like, he has never failed the first transition of the cliffhanger, so I definitely think there is a world he can reach Vertical Limit. Next, we have the competitor that basically finally showcases potential after years of teasing us, Kitaro Yamamoto, who is also a member of the Morimoto-kun Sedai. I don't really think Kitaro is going to fail Stage 1. I think 37 was a fluke, and even then you could even argue that was because of rain. So, I'm going to say a lower wall lift because I still think there is a chance he could fail Stage 2. And a high, Suna Nobori. I think there is a realistic possibility Kitaro makes the final stage and gets pretty high up on the final stage. Because speed climbing, that's literally his thing. But I do think the Salmon Lair Jugodan could really screw him up. And I think he'll team up on the Tsunenobori.
Yeah, I mean, I feel roughly the same. You know, I think he could fail stage 2, because it's never been, like, an easy stage for him. Even when he beat it, he had less than 3 seconds on the clock. So, yeah, I guess I'll say wall lift as low. High Salmon Ladder Jugodan, because I would like to see him on a Salmon Ladder Jugodan first, before I would really say, yes, I think he could beat the Salmon Ladder Jugodan. So I'm gonna hold out on saying he'll make it to the rope. Yes, he'll beat speed climbing. There's no doubt on that. Next is the man making his return after forever, Kenji Darish. What a downfall this man has had. I know the Dragon Glider fail in, 38 was not his fault, but man, you hate to see it. You hate to see it. I don't think he's gonna fail Rolling Hill, for starters. I'm debating whether he'd beat Block, though. That's the good question. Because Darvish has never been one to haul ass. You know that. You and me both know that. Low block. High warped wall.
I agree. I think his lowest block. I definitely think there is a world where he could fail that obstacle. But I also think that there is a world where he does clear stage 1 again, which would be pretty nice to see, because Darvish is a celebrity that really cares about Sasuke. And that's maybe not as much of a rarity nowadays, but back when Darvish was, consistently doing well on the course, that was a rarity. So I think he could definitely reach back to stage 2 again. I think the rolling log could really screw him up. So I'm going to say a low block, a high of reverse conveyor. Next, we have someone who finally cleared stage 1 in Sasuke 40, and that is Ayano Osima. Ayano is honestly someone who I think could go anywhere. I'm going to say a low block because of the fact that we have not seen it. We don't really know how this obstacle could turn out. And plus, Ayano, like Nakashima, is pretty short. So I think that could lead her to have a bit of a disadvantage on the obstacle. And a high of, I'm going to say where she failed last time, Spire Drop, because again, she's really short, and that obstacle basically eats short people for breakfast.
Oh, Oshima. The last time we met, I guessed a random stage 2 obstacle, and you failed it. So I'm gonna say high Spider Drop. Isn't that lovely? We're gonna keep this one short. Low warped wall, because I don't think she's failing block, because parkour and everything, that would be kind of her specialty. I say as she fails the warped wall time and time again, but you could say that doesn't cater to her height. So I'm going to say low warped wall. And then high, that's a good question. Backstream, sure, let's go with that possibility. We never have a good results predictions without me throwing out a few oddball predictions. And next up is Iwamoto, perhaps the most famous person on this show. And no, Yamada doesn't count. I'm not going to slander Yamada, though. Yamada, you're cool. I appreciate your effort. Iwamoto, though, he's never beaten stage 2, which is kind of crazy. I mean, we had a whole meme to go off of with, Iwamoto awaiting his fate in the watery graves on the reverse conveyor. I guess it's not entirely possible, impossible. It's not entirely impossible that he could fail Dragon Glider again. Of course, it was a technical problem, but he's failed it twice. No, 3 times. So I'll say low Dragon Glider, high wall lifting. Yeah, we'll say wall lifting. I don't think he's there yet.
Iwamoto, to me, kind of falls in the same boat as Darvish, where, it's really nice to see a celebrity care this much about Sasuke. And you could definitely see it on Iwamoto's face, especially after he cleared stage 1 in 38. I'm going to say a low block because I definitely think that is a shock fail waiting to happen. But a high, this is going to be spicy. I might go as far to say swing edge because of the fact that Iwamoto is a lot faster than Darvish is, and the fact that I think Iwamoto just has the it factor that Darvish just does not have. Also, he's significantly younger. Next, we have another competitor that you could literally chuck a prediction at the wall and see if it sticks. It's Rio Matachi. Rio absolutely embarrassed himself in Sasuke 40. Like, how do you do that? After what looked like to be a resurgence for him. Like, come on, man. So, yeah, Rolling Hill is going to be my low again because of the fact that he can just fail anything, pretty much, except for, like, the quad steps. For a high, I'm going to say Vertical Limit because of the fact that Rio still has his insane grip strength, even after all this time. But I think Vertical Limit is his peak.
You know, I'm very disappointed in this man. I said Rio was gonna make it to the Jugodan last time. And you know what he does? Fails the second obstacle. A result that people would expect on Torisawa. And instead, the guy I had seeded for the final fails the second obstacle. He's not failing Rolling Hill again. But the damage, the pain is done. Low Warped Wall. High Vertical Limit. Next up is Tomohiro Kawaguchi, and man, I really said this guy would not make it to stage 3 again, and I still agree. He's not making it back to stage 3. And if this is wrong for the second year in a row, what I want you guys to do is comment. You know, in the Ninja Masters, ha 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 ha, Kane, you dumb fuck who hates Kawaguchi. And mods, you better not ban people who do that. That's not bullying, that is permission. But no, low Dragon Glider, high wall lifting.
Kane, you really crack me up. Tomo, it was really nice to see him make it back to stage 3, but considering that he barely made it there to begin with, I don't foresee it happening again. The guy just got a year older. I'm going to say a low Warped Wall because of the fact that he has had so many problems with that obstacle. And then a high of wall lift. I think he's just going to be a tad bit slower. Tomo, you had a great run, but it's time, man. Next, we have a competitor that both of us are very excited to see. And that is American Ninja Warrior Season 15 champion, Daniel Gill. Daniel Gill is one of the best ninjas in the world, period. I think he's got a really good chance to do well on this course. I'm going to say a low cliffhanger dimension because the American competitors don't train the 180 technique very often, so that's a big question mark. But as for a high, I think he could win. I'm going to say a high of a Kanzen. There, I said it.
This is a tough one because I haven't seen a ton of Daniel Gill in recent, because of, you know, the whole, I don't know, stuff that's happened in recent. You know, in 13 he was out due to COVID. In 14 he didn't even compete. I don't know. It's tough to say. This is one of the harder ones for me. But he's good with agility. I don't know if he's gonna, you know, really be tripped up by the, you know, earlier 2 stages. Yeah, we'll go with cliffhanger, high Suna Nobori. And next up, we have a man we've been awaiting his return for years, Renee Castley. If this was Ninja Warrior Germany 5 Renee, then I could say with confidence that he could Kanzen. But that time and that ship has sailed. He's not beating the cliffhanger dimension. And you know what? I'm so confident in that prediction that I'm going to say with absolute certainty he will fail the cliffhanger dimension. Because, you know, think about it. In WNL 2020, cliffhanger. In Ninja Warrior Germany, cliffhanger. How much you guys want to bet when the new Germany season wraps up, Renee's season is going to end on a cliffhanger?
Yeah, so I have not seen Germany, which is a show that I'm really trying to get around to watching. I've had many conversations with multiple people about his struggles in the cliffhanger. So I, like Kane, will be saying unconditional cliffhanger dimension fail. Next we have a competitor who defined the previous tournament. The only man to compete on every single Sasuke tournament, Shingo Yamamoto. Shingo is known for having some of the stupidest fails possible, and I think that can continue on an obstacle known as block block. So I'm going to say a low of block block and a high of, let's say, reverse conveyor. I'll entertain that because I definitely think he has the potential to make it back there, especially since he's cracked at the salmon ladder for no justifiable reason. So yeah.
Yeah, Shingo's kind of an oddball for me. It's tough. Because it could go any which way. He could make it back, sure. Probably the best odds of any All-Star. I'm gonna hope that he doesn't suck at Fishbone, you know. Low, yeah, we'll say block block. He failed that in Takashi's, right? And then high, yeah, I don't think he's built to do stage 2. So reverse conveyor. That's my high. Next up is Katsuto Yamada. We just do these for, you know, just posterity, I guess, because, like, as if he could ever make any headway, ever. Correct me if I'm wrong. Does he actively try to beat the stage? Because, honestly, he probably gets more off of failing. Maybe I'm wrong. I guess low Fishbone, high Dragon Glider. No. I gotta keep the possibility he gets loaded up with gas and then he makes it to the tackle. Yeah, sure. Let's entertain that.
Katsuto Yamada. He probably does more mental training than Shinsuke Nagasaki. Let's be real, guys. Yamada is also known for being slower than a tortoise. So, I'm going to say low Rolling Hill because he's failed it in so many specials and commercials. I don't foresee him failing the quad steps. I think 39 was a freak accident. And I'm going to say a high up block because, again, Yamada is, again, slower than a tortoise. And block is an obstacle you need to be agile on. So I'm going to say high block. Next, we have the man, the myth, the fish killer, Makoto Nagano. 51 years old. And he almost cleared stage 1 last time. I'm going to say a low of block because of the fact that Nagano is not the tallest competitor. And he doesn't have nearly as much athleticism as he used to. However, I'm going to entertain a stage 1 clear for him. I think it's within the realm of possibility, and he could reach stage 2, but I don't see him making it further than the reverse conveyor. Smoker Long Nagano is not going to beat stage 2.
You know, this is gonna be a bit of a weird take. You know, you might expect the old people to fail block. I'm not gonna say that for Nagano, honestly, because out of all of the aspects of Nagano, obviously he's naturally, you know, gifted, naturally athletic in, you know, his entire body, especially in his prime. But something that he's especially good with is lower body. Like, I don't know if people have noticed this, but, you know, it's worth bringing up. I don't think he's failing block. But I do think he's failing Dragon Glider. Possibly, you know? So low Dragon Glider and high reverse conveyor. Next up is Yugi. I have quite a few things to say about him. I really underestimated him. I thought he was failing the cliffhanger. A dingus move on my plan. But I don't know. I don't know if he's getting the vertical limit this time. That's not something I could... Well, it's possible. I just don't know if it's going to happen this time. So I think he can do stage 1. You know, I don't think that's a concern. Yes, he's failed Warped Wall, but that was on a rigged stage 1. I guess I could say low reverse conveyor, high cliffhanger. Yeah, I'm gonna make a bold prediction in the name of all that is holy.
Yugi continues to defy Father Time but he cannot keep it up forever. Like with Tomo before him, he barely cleared stage 2 by the skin of his teeth. I'm gonna say a low wall lift, and I'm gonna say a high vertical limit because that is, I think, Yuji's absolute peak at this rate. The guy is 45. If you think he's going back to the final stage, I want to know what you're smoking, because that's definitely some good shit. Next, we have the competitor that likes to get digested for some reason. This is Tatsuya Tata. And Tata is definitely someone who has potential to go far. And he has. I do not foresee him failing the first 2 stages. I don't see a world where he does. But I definitely think he could fail Cliffhanger Dimension again. I could definitely see him peeling off like he did in 38. And then for a high, I'll say Tsunenobori. I'll entertain it, even though the guy has not even made it 2/3 of the way up the Jugodan. I'll still entertain Tsunenobori as a high.
See, I'm gonna go a little bit closer together, in my predictions, but here's actually a bit of a fun fact while I make this a little bit, more interesting. Did you guys know that Sasuke 37 ended in the same way as Sasuke 19? Low, vertical limit, high salmon ladder Jugodan. He's not making it past that, and, he didn't even make it up halfway last tournament. There's no way. That's not happening. And next up, finally a man that gets the acknowledgement he deserves, Yoshiyuki Yamamoto. Yeah, I'm glad he's finally gotten to the final stage, and Yamada has something to be happy about, The Black Tigers, back in their infancy, were an utter failure. We first had Hiroshige, have a buzzer beater, which ended in his failure. Then he actually made it. Then a criminal made it to stage 3. And then we got the new wave of Black Tigers, and it was all cool and stuff. Low... That's a good question. Low cliffhanger. Why not? We'll just throw one out there. High Tsunenobori. I don't think he's going to Kanzen just yet. He'll be close, but I don't think he'll actually go the distance, required. Because the Salmon Ladder Jugodan, he'll beat it, like he did last time. I just don't think he'll do it.
Yoshiyuki Yamamoto, definitely a fan favorite competitor, and for good reason. The guy is incredibly entertaining to watch. He's definitely, by far, the best Black Tiger Yamada has ever had. I'm going to say a lower cliffhanger dimension because of the fact that I do not foresee him failing the first 2 stages. He never has. But cliffhanger dimension, he can definitely peel off there. And a high, I'm going to disagree with Kane here. I think he can do it. So I'm going to say a high of Kanzen. And trust me, if Yoshiyuki Kanzens, Yamada's going to be at the top of that tower. And that's the storybook ending Sasuke really wants. So, I think it's entirely possible Yoshiyuki Yamamoto is your next Grand Champion. Next, we have the greatest Sasuke competitor to ever compete, the leader of the Morimoto Kunsadai. I just said his last name. His name is Yusuke Morimoto. And do I keep the meme going?
Unconditional Kanzen.
Absolutely, I fucking do. Yep. Unconditional Kanzen. I do not see a world where he does not Kanzen this tournament. Inject it into my veins. He is Kanzening.
Man, I'm tired of ending these videos with this because I think more people show up for Mr. 99 Yoshi's result prediction than we get viewers for Yusuke because everyone knows what we're gonna say. But here's the thing: if you lock out Yusuke, you lock out everyone because that's just kind of how that works. But yeah, it sucks that we ended off on this note every year, but that's just what happens. So yeah, that's it for the results predictions. You have any closing thoughts, Evan?
Subscribe to TSN. We have a lot projects coming in the future, including Kane Malden's own sportsman documentary, which you guys should 100% watch when it premieres on December 29th.
So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And we will see you in the next video. See ya!